Hey everyone, how's it going? So what am I working on now? Well, I got a 2017 Subaru Outback. You might remember this one. This came in a couple of weeks ago. It might have been last week. And it needed front axles and rear wheel bearings. Well, Jaden did the job because I couldn't get around to it. And that part of it's been fine, but it developed a misfire. So I took it for a ride and I saw cylinders, what was it? 2 and 3 were misfiring. So I was like, okay. So I started checking into it. This thing's got 170 something thousand miles on it. So I went to go pull a plug out, and I'm not going to show you this entire job. There's so much going on in the shop right now, I kind of can't, but now everybody's on lunch, so it's kind of quiet, so now I can show you. I took one of the right side plugs out, and oil poured out of the hole. Spark plugs sit inside a tube. So what happens is the seal between the valve cover and the tube actually goes bad. They harden up. No big deal. You got to change the valve cover gaskets. However, when I pulled the plugs out, I saw how shot they were. But I want you to see this. 175,000 miles. I think these are the original plugs. At least I'm pretty confident they are. So check this out. So here is one of the plugs I took out. And if you look at the grounding strap, see it? I just think that that's completely worn out. I've actually never seen one with the grounding electrode like that. What I am used to seeing is this. This is the replacement plug for this car. This is the factory replacement plug. This is what's called for in this vehicle. So I'm not quite sure. Kind of weird when I saw this. But what I was saying about the oil in the spark plug tube, I think that that's what's creating the actual misfire. So obviously being there, we're putting spark plugs in at the same time. It's a little bit tight to get in there, especially on the driver's side to do this job. Like I said, I can't really, we got so much going on today, it would be near impossible for me to show you me doing this with all the background noise going on today. It's near impossible. So I figure, let me show you right now what I got going on just so you can see it. So I got the passenger side done. And as you can see, the coils there are inside, and you don't have too much room between the frame rail and where the coils sit, because the coils are kind of hidden down there. Best thing to do on these is I find you could take, well, only because I'm doing valve cover gaskets too, take the wheel well liner out of the way. You leave it attached, but just take it out of the way, so this way you can get to it through the opening here. You can get to all the bolts, no problem. Just me, I find it easier. Same on this side. I take the battery out on this side and I move the fender liner back also. This side's even tighter though, but I should be able to get it without too much of an issue. There's also a shield that protects, it's actually right there, actually protects the injectors in case of an accident or something. It's that one in place. Take that out too, just to make my life easier. You may not have to. I like my life to be easy when it comes to stuff like this. So, but let me show you something here. The spark plug boots. See them? This is actually cylinder, well, the first cylinder on the driver's side. I don't know if that's 1 or 2. I don't recall what the actual firing order is on this. Here's the 2 that I already replaced on the passenger side, and you can see they're pretty munged up, and it's got oil on the inside that's been dripping out. I actually had these over on the bench and they're still dripping out. But let me show you what's involved in changing these in case you've never done one. Really not that hard. Okay. So now, let me get a rag, hold on. All right, so as you see, everything is covered in oil. This is a new one. I'm assuming, or at least I'm hoping somebody else sells these, because otherwise you got to replace the coils, and these coils are not cheap. So this is how it comes. It comes with the electrode portion, or whatever you want to call this, the spring, the contact spring, just taped to it. So I just roll it around to get it out of there. You don't want to pull on it and stretch out the actual spring. There's that. I know people out there that would actually leave this in place. Not me though. I don't like to do stuff like that. I like to be neat. Like when somebody else goes in there later on, they see somebody did a neat job. Let's see. And as you can see, the size difference, it's all swelled up from the oil. See that? So, and this is all gushy too. So, all right, so you want to change these. How do you do that? Very simple. Just grab the boot on these things and pull. That's all. Just pull it off. Now what I'm going to do too is I'm going to take brake clean. Oh, I have it right here. Let me put my straw in my nozzle for my brake clean. Now this has a little breather hole in it. You can see it right there. It comes in over here. So I'm going to try. Just want to clean it out, that's all. I just want to get the residual oil off of this. That's all I'm doing. Just blew out the center, not a big deal. So now, lay the spring in place, take your boot, put it over top, and as you see, it's got a barb here, and this will snap in place. Now, the funny thing is, and I didn't show you that, see it's got like a breather tube hole right there. I like to line it up to the front where it goes, but absolutely none of the ones I've taken off from the factory were in the same spot. They were just there somewhere. You can put a little bit of dielectric grease in there if you want to. I'll be honest with you, dielectric grease, I don't know why, but I have found on spark plug wires, tell me if any of you had this too. I have found on spark plug wires, when they've had dielectric grease on them, it almost acts like glue. Especially when it's been on there for a long period of time, and it's like you try to get the boots off and the darn things will not release. It's like you got to twist them, and sometimes they just actually tear. I've had them tear off and get stuck to the spark plug, and that becomes a pain when you try to put a spark plug socket over it. So, but whatever. I usually don't use it, not even on my own cars. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Maybe it depends on how I'm feeling. Maybe it depends on if I have dielectric grease handy. None of these boots came with dielectric grease. I don't have any readily available to me. I mean, I probably have some somewhere around here. I just don't know where. It's here somewhere. Usually I like to save dielectric grease for like electrical connectors that are going to be exposed to the elements, let's say. But yeah, so this should straighten out the misfire problem. Oh, and those tubes, they do have oil in the tube. So like the spark plugs themselves, when I pulled these out, they were dripping with oil, dripping. And the spark plug socket was coated in oil. So after the first one on that side, so now some of that oil probably got in the cylinders. After doing the one on this side, what I did is on the other one, I sprayed around the spark plug with brake clean and then took an air blowgun and blew around it. Now on that side, when I finish that side up, what I'm going to do, or all I'm doing on that side, is I'm going to get the other coil out. I'm going to spray inside where the spark plugs are with the brake clean and get it nice and clean, and then blow it out, blow out the residual stuff. This way it's not all in there and caked in there. Because if you leave it in there, what's the point? What's the point? You're going to ruin the new spark plug boots. So why do that if you don't have to? That's pretty much it. It's just kind of what I wanted to go over. Like I said, everybody's on lunch, so I kind of have a quiet shop right now. There was just a lot of work with suspension and stuff today, so that's kind of why I couldn't make a video on this. It's just, when there's so much background noise, it's just not worth it to try to even make a video. So that's why I waited till lunchtime to do this. So, yeah, there's really nothing special with this. It's just kind of labor intensive, but that's about it. All right, well, hopefully you learned something on that. Hopefully you're getting tips from the stuff I tell you. I guess that's about it. All right, guys, hopefully you have a great day. Keep wrenching.